Hello everyone, my name is Danielle, and today we're going to learn how to use the manual Lensometer. This machine may look a little intimidating, but I promise it's not as complicated as it looks. So here's a list of things you need in order to make this work. Number 1, the Lensometer. Number 2, the glasses. Number 3, an outlet to plug it up. Number 4, last but not least, your hands. Let's first start by identifying the parts of the Lensometer. First, you have the on and off switch. This button is located in a different place on almost every Lensometer. Go ahead and switch it on if it isn't already. Next is the eyepiece. You will need to focus the eyepiece to your liking, as you are the one looking through it. You will rotate the eyepiece either clockwise or counterclockwise while looking through the eyepiece until the black lines on the inside are sharp and crisp. If you are having a hard time seeing the line, place a solid white piece of paper on the other side of the lens. Next, you have your lens plate. The lens plate moves up and down to accommodate for different size lenses. There is typically a lever on the right side, but it may be on the left depending on the brand and model Lensometer. Place your glasses on the Lensometer and adjust them as close to the optical center as possible. Next, you have the lens holder. The lens holder is a spring-loaded feature to hold the lens against the Lensometer. Again, the model of Lensometer will determine what side of the machine it's on and how to use it. Some models have a rotate and release holder, while others have a push and release holder. No matter which one you have, please be sure to release the holder slowly and intentionally. Letting go suddenly can potentially damage the lens. Next, you have the power drum. The power drum can be turned from either side of the Lensometer, no matter what type of Lensometer you have. It has both a positive and negative side. Last, you have the axis wheel. The axis wheel is traditionally located in the back of the Lensometer, but this can vary by model. Some models have the axis wheel located around the lens. Before we get started, it's important to become familiar with certain images. First, we have sphere lines. The image you will see inside of the Lensometer that indicates you have found your sphere are 3 very thin and compact lines. Second, we have the cylinder lines. The image you see inside of the Lensometer that indicates you have found your cylinder are 3 thick and spaced out lines. Lastly, you have the misaligned axis. When your lines appear broken and warped, the axis needs to be adjusted until they align. Now that we have our glasses placed properly, we can begin reading the prescription. If we are reading glasses for a doctor who works in minus cylinder, we will want to begin by rotating our power drum to a high plus position. When we begin in a high plus position, the only direction we can move is down, or in a negative direction. So that this makes more sense, let's discuss the math behind getting a prescription. You should always find the sphere first. The sphere is the only true number you find when performing lensometry. This means that the number you land on is indeed the actual sphere. The cylinder and add powers are only obtained by adding to or taking away from this number. If you happen to run into the cylinder first, simply rotate the axis 90 degrees to reveal the sphere and continue. Now let's think of this as a bank account. So let's say our sphere became clear at +4 on the power drum. This means we start off with $4 in our bank account. Now remember, we continue to move the power drum downward or in a negative position until our cylinder lines come into focus. Let's say the cylinder lines come into focus at +150. While it's tempting to say that the cylinder is +150, this is incorrect. The cylinder is the difference between the sphere and the cylinder. So what happened in order for your bank account to go from $4 to $1.50? $2.50 was deducted. So the actual cylinder is minus $2.50. And the axis is what you see on the axis wheel. Let's apply this same logic to a physician working in plus cylinder. If you're working in plus cylinder, start by turning your power drum to a high minus position. This way you can only move upward or in a positive direction. Remember that you always need to find the sphere first, because the sphere is the base. So let's say that the sphere comes into focus at -1. Now we continue to move it in upward or positive direction. Now the cylinder comes into focus at plus 350. What happened to our bank account to go from -1 to positive 350? We had a deposit of 450. So the actual cylinder is plus 450. Now let's do a real pair of glasses. I'm going to work in minus cylinder. First, I'm going to turn my dial to a high plus position. Now I start to rotate the power drum in a negative direction. I'm looking for my sphere lines to come into focus first. Remember that the sphere lines are 3 thin and compact lines. As we get closer to being able to see our lines, you can see that they are not becoming clear. The lines are broken, and broken lines mean that the axis is off. So now I rotate the axis until the lines align. Once you align, you may have to fine-tune your power drum to the best clarity, but make sure to record this number. So we begin with plus 375. Our beginning balance in our bank account is $3.75. Now I will continue to rotate in a negative position until my cylinder lines come into focus. Remember that the cylinder lines are thicker and more spaced out. The cylinder lines become clear at +1. So if I started with a 375 in my bank account and ended up with only 1 left, how much was taken out? 275. So our cylinder is minus 275. Our distance prescription is plus 375 minus 275 at the axis of 177. Now there is one more step. This pair of glasses is a bifocal. That means we need to figure out what the add power is. To figure out the add power, you first return to the sphere on the power drum. Then you will reposition the glasses so that the add power is in front of the lens. Now that you have repositioned, you can see your sphere lines have gone away, and it will either be generally blurry or you may see what looks like the cylinder lines in focus. Since the bifocal is an add, the add is always plus power, meaning you begin to rotate your power drum in a positive direction. You will turn in this direction until the sphere lines become clear again. The lines became clear at +6. So how do we get from 375 to 6? We added 225. So the add power in these glasses is plus 225. This concludes your lesson on how to read glasses today. A few things I want you to remember. The sphere is the only true number you get. The sphere is the number that you must find first. If your cylinder lines come into focus before the sphere lines, stop rotating and turn the axis 90 degrees. The cylinder and add power are the difference from the sphere, not the number you land on. I hope this helps you guys. Remember to be the reason someone is able to smile today. Hope you have a wonderful day.